Hi everyone, how are you all doing and welcome back. So today I thought I'd just quickly share some tips that I use when I play any of the Battlefield games, and they can generally just help you to sort of survive longer and just have more fun playing the game. And the best thing is you can start sort of using them now, so that when Battlefield 2042 releases, you can be already sort of used to sort of implementing them and just get straight into the game and start having fun and just racking up the kills. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into tip number one. So tip number one is to stay with your squad and team. So this will allow you to stay alive longer, as you got more people to sort of cover you and sort of take out other enemies, so you don't kind of get swamped by them. You can also get sort of support from them, so in sort of the sense of like health and ammo, as well as repairs if you're in a tank. It's important that you stay with your team if you're sort of in a vehicle, just as that way then you can get repairs and you don't kind of get swamped by enemy infantry that can like take you out. And also, capturing objectives as well. It's a lot easier to capture an objective with few of you guys instead of just being like, on their solo. As you can sort of sway sort of the balance and capture the objective, and you don't get like once again swamped by enemies that spawn on the objective to sort of stop you guys from taking it. So tip number two is to play the objective of the respective game mode that you're playing at that time. Just by playing the objective, you can make the whole experience a lot better. There's many ways you can sort of play the objective, whether it be on the point actually capturing it, or sort of providing cover from the outside, whether you're sniping or got sort of a LMG type weapon, or even you're in a tank. You don't always have to drive onto the objective. You can be sort of on the outskirts, sort of taking out enemies that are coming on, or harassing enemy vehicles that are on the point as well. But by doing this as well, you can also get more XP from it, as most objectives are where the action is, as both teams sort of like to sort of congregate on them and sort of take them, so you can get more XP from this as well, and in turn sort of level up quicker as well. So moving on, tip number three is a really important one, and that's sort of use your mini map, whether it be sort of the one in the bottom left hand corner, or the big map that you can open up. By using the minimap, you sort of get constant information of what's going on, so sort of teammate and enemy locations, which then enable you to be able to sort of get an idea of where flank routes might be opening up, so that way then you don't get outflanked by enemies, and you can actually flank the enemy instead. Just by keeping it on the map as well, you can see where teammates are more so like getting killed by the enemy, and there might be a push coming from the enemy from that sort of direction as well. It also lets you know if objectives are getting captured as well, so instead of just having to look at the top of your screen as well, you can look on the map and see what objectives are getting captured, and just all this information as well will enable you to stay alive longer. You're getting constant information of what's going on in the battlefield, and you can sort of then base and sort of position up and get kind of in position to kind of counter the enemy if they end up pushing you, or be able to flank around the enemy, come behind them and take them out instead. So just by using that map, it's one of the main things that I use, and you can just get so much information from it. So since I briefly touched on it, point 3, point 4 is going to be watching your flanks. So since Battlefield, the maps are so big, especially with the new game modes coming out with even more players and bigger maps, compared to other games, flanking is a bit harder, but on this one you can really take advantage of the big open maps and get behind the enemy in sort of multiple ways. So just watching out for enemies that may be sort of flanking behind you, looking on the map like I mentioned and seeing where the enemy could be flanking from. This stops you from getting sort of capped, so getting back capped and also shot in the back, and instead you can like look on the map and see potential flank routes as well, and it allows you to flank the enemy and get behind them and cause havoc and take their objectives and shoot them in the back. So if you do get flanked or you see enemies behind you, just double check after you've sort of eliminated them all that there isn't like a cheeky spawn beacon or anything like that, because that's something that I do, and I know other enemy players do it as well. If they're the correct class, they go out, put a spawn beacon down, and then next thing you know, there's another squad spawning on there, capping a flag after you've all kind of moved on further into the map, and then they've taken the flag, and then it's a repeat of what's just happened. So just double check for things like that, and also for any other enemies that may be hiding, but definitely watch your flanks and then take advantage of them if they open up for you to then go behind and cause havoc behind the enemy. So the final tip is to use cover. So cover is such a big part of Battlefield, with the big open maps, you need to be able to move from cover to cover and minimize your time out in the open, as there's plenty of times where you can get shot when crossing an open field or like an open stretch of the map. So just from moving cover to cover and using cover when engaging enemies can just help minimize you getting shot more, as when shooting an enemy from behind cover, if it's like say like head high or sort of only your upper chest is showing, that's a massive advantage over an enemy that's in the open field where you can see their whole body and then they can only see the top half of your body. So just using cover to your advantage, peeking corners and everything else can help you just get the drop on enemies, stay alive longer. And also, if you do find yourself having to move across sort of open fields or open sort of parts of the map, don't try and run in a straight line. Try and like sort of zigzag and just kind of make your movement a bit irregular, as snipers do love to shoot people that are running in straight lines, you know, especially they more so look at that open area for anybody crossing. So, you know, if you do have to cross sort of from cover to cover or open stretches of the map, just make sure you use these again, just making it hard for them to hit you. And if you do end up getting sniped at, don't lie down, as sort of that's the best thing that can happen for the sniper, is if you lie down while getting sniped and you're not behind cover, then, you know, it's a pretty easy headshot then, and then you're back to the respawn menu. There's a quick bonus tip that's very important for a solo player, or even if you're playing with a squad. It's to never trust your teammates unless you're communicating with them. So that's something I always go by in Battlefield. I never trust a teammate that's covering me if I'm not communicating with them, just because you don't know if they're going to run off at the first sound of gunfire to somewhere else on the map, and then next thing you know you get outflanked. So never trust your teammate to cover you unless you're communicating with them. That's something I always go by. Hopefully you found these tips and sort of advice useful. I always use this on any Battlefield game I play. You know, it just allows you to sort of stay alive longer, get on the objective, have fun, and just get to experience the game more. If you've got any more that you'd sort of like to share, make sure to drop a comment down below. Yeah, sort of any other comments about what you'd like to see different about these videos. I'm always looking to improve, so make sure to drop that down below as well. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and a subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.